From Hollywood, Lyle Talbot in The Unexpected.
The Unexpected.
The Unexpected. Life is filled with the unexpected. Romantic, tragic, and mysterious endings to our most ordinary actions. Dreams come true, or dreams are shattered by sudden twists of fate in The Unexpected. But first, a word from your announcer. And now, Lyle Talbot, famous motion picture and stage star, in Cargo Unknown, a drama of the unexpected.
My dear Lorna. No. Dear Mrs. Andrews. Yeah, that's better. Comma. You'll no doubt remember me. You should. I am the long, lean, wide-eyed lad you approached. I think that's the word. Approach that sticky afternoon in the bar at Ginger's. You were looking your best. Black hair on white shoulders and not too much of a salmon pink dress. So I turned around and stared. After all, deep-sea diving is a lonely business.
Do you buy me a drink, or do I buy you one?
That depends on whether I'm a gentleman or not.
Well, are you?
That depends on you.
Mike, give us a couple of the same.
Okay, coming up. Now, do we use names?
It's simpler. I'm Lorna Andrews.
Here's to you, Lorna.
Here's to you, Tom.
Oh?
Yes, I know your name. I've been following you.
That wasn't necessary.
I want to talk to you about business.
Before pleasure?
Uh-huh. I hear you're the guy I've been looking for.
Offhand, I'd say you were right.
I hope so, Tommy. Because there's a lot of money waiting for us. For you and me. An awful lot.
How much?
Enough. In round figures, over $2 million.
I like round figures.
When do we go after it?
That depends on where it is.
About 175 feet down.
That's pretty deep.
Oh, you look like a big, strong boy, Tom. You can get it.
175 feet is a lot of water, especially when you're under it.
I wouldn't know. But they tell me you're the only diver in Honolulu who could make it.
Better give me the whole picture, Lorna.
All right. You fit up a boat, we take a little sail, and then you go swimming.
Where?
I'll let you know when we get there.
Not till then? Sorry, Lorna.
What's the matter?
I don't buy it. I'm not a very legitimate guy, but I like to do legitimate business. Makes for nice contrast.
What's wrong with this setup?
Plenty. If there was that much money lying around, somebody else would be after it. Probably insurance or shipping companies. So you're either looking for something you shouldn't have or just lying. I'd like it better if you were lying.
It's the truth, Tom.
Okay, have it your way. But a woman like you ought to have more important things to lie about than money. So long, Lorna, and thanks for the drink. So I walked out on you, Mrs. Andrews, and right into the grinning face of our mutual friend, Mr. Komar.
Mrs. Andrews is an interesting woman, isn't she, Mr. Stevenson?
Does she interest you?
No, not exactly. But I, too, am concerned with the matter of the Mary Arnold.
The who?
Oh, as usual, women are so secretive, and it is so unnecessary. Mary Arnold is a ship now lying off Molokai Reef. Everyone knows she is there.
Yeah, then what's the secret?
Her cargo, Mr. Stevenson. Her cargo.
Now you begin to interest me, Mr.
Comar. Frederick Comar. Let me tell you everything.
Okay, start weeping. I got broad shoulders.
But you must take this seriously, Mr. Stevenson. It is a very serious matter. You see, the late Mr. Andrews, Lorna's husband, was a passenger aboard the Mary Arnold, and in the hold he placed a valuable cargo. Valuable in the sum of $2 million.
What kind of cargo?
No one knows for sure. Until I arrived last week, no one knew of the existence of this cargo. Not even the bereaved widow, Mrs. Andrews.
Why did Andrews confide in you?
Oh, he didn't. The Mary Arnold was one of the last ships to escape Shanghai before the arrival of Japanese. When she sank, everyone thought that her cargo was worthless. And since Mr. Andrews perished with the ship, there was no one to correct this erroneous impression. But I have evidence to the contrary.
I like to see evidence, Mr. Comar. It always satisfies my curiosity.
Yes, but of course. Here. Bills of lading. Official and certified.
Howard Andrews, Shanghai to Honolulu via the SS Mary Arnold. Sealed containers. Estimated value, $2 million American. Signed R. Markham & Son, Shanghai. Where'd you get this?
I found it.
Yeah?
Yes, Mr. Stevenson. Last month, going through some old records in the shipping office. It was sheer luck.
No doubt. Why don't you take this to Mrs. Andrews?
Unfortunately, I did. But she seems to feel that the percentage I require is more than she wishes to pay. So
that's where I come in.
Of course. And I assure you that working with me can be most profitable. While on the other hand, cooperating with Mrs. Andrews could prove disastrous, even fatal, if you follow my meaning.
I'm way ahead of you, Comar.
Good. But just one thing.
Yeah?
Don't ever get too far ahead.
I made a tentative appointment with Mr. Comar, went back into the bar and did some tall thinking over a tall drink. And I looked up your address in the phone book and went out to your simple little $500 a month apartment near Diamond Head.
Hello, Tom. I've been waiting for you.
Well, I'm here. You were all rouged, powdered, and negligéed, and looking very fetching indeed.
Can I get you a drink?
I think we better talk business first.
Before pleasure?
Yeah. I saw Mr. Comar this afternoon. He offered me a deal.
I'm not surprised.
Are his facts straight?
Uh-huh.
And you didn't know about this cargo before?
No. There were a lot of things my husband didn't tell me.
He was a bad boy.
Sometimes.
Suppose I take the job for you.
Fine.
My price is expenses and 10% of whatever we find.
Comar offered you more than that, didn't he?
Well, maybe I think the stuff belongs to you, or maybe I just like working with you better than with Comar.
Maybe. When do we start?
As soon as I get a boat fitted up.
It's a deal, Tommy. And you don't worry about your percentage. I'll make it worth your while.
I didn't keep my appointment with Mr. Comar. We were too busy. 2 weeks later, we had the salvage ship fitted out and anchored just off Molokai Reef. We checked the equipment, we tested the pumps, looked over the airline, and checked my suit. Then I slipped into my 32-pound boots and was ready for the helmet when you came up and got your lips in the way.
This is just for luck, Tommy.
Thanks. You helped me put on my helmet. And I climbed over the side and into the glistening green water. Down I went, feeling very much like an elephant with two trunks. Into the quiet of an ocean with a bottom 175 treacherous feet below me. The ghostly undersea light faded as I dropped, and I was all alone in a black world, black as death. 10 minutes later, I hit bottom and switched on my searchlight. And there she was, right in front of me. A gaping hole in her side, and still painted on her stern the words, SS Mary Arnold, Honolulu. I reached out with one of my hooks and pounded on the hull. The sound disturbed the giant squid, and he swam out past me. I stepped in beside him and walked forward. The pile of sealed aluminum containers was sitting in the hole waiting for me. I pried one of them open, and there it was. Fat, neat little packages of currency in large denominations. Currency, millions and millions of dollars.
You think the story is over, don't you? But wait. Fate takes a hand. Wait for the unexpected. And now for the surprising conclusion of Cargo Unknown, a Hamilton Whitney production starring Lyle Talbot, written by Robert Libet and Frank Burt, and directed by Frank K. Danzig.
I surfaced slowly, my arms loaded with the stuff. When I got to the deck, you were waiting for me, Mrs. Andrews, but you weren't alone.
I'll take that money, Mr. Stevenson.
How'd you get here, Komar?
A speedboat. I decided to let you do the work and to content myself with the profits. Now I'll take that money.
Okay, stop waving your little pistol. Here, you're welcome to it.
Tom, you can't.
And you will go down for the rest?
If you really want it.
What are you doing, Tom? There are millions of dollars that belongs to me. To us. You can't just give it away, please, Tom, please.
Take it easy, Lorna, and you too, Komar. Sure, there's millions of dollars. Probably 8 or 9 million. The bill of lading said it was worth 2 million American.
That is correct.
And it was 10 years ago.
What do you mean?
These are Chinese dollars, friends. And they've gone down a little in value. If I remember right, at the last rate of exchange, the whole business is worth about $500. And so, my dear Mrs. Andrews, I'm enclosing my bill for $6,000 expenses. You can forget about my percentage. I don't expect that you'll pay this bill, but I believe in trying. Yours truly, Thomas J. Stevenson.
Cargo Unknown starred Lyle Talbot. Listen again soon for another of your favorite motion picture stars in a drama of the unexpected. This program was transcribed in Hollywood.